Hey, how are we? Good morning. Um, Thank you for joining me. For those that don't know me, I'm Mama C, and this is Hooked by Mama C. We talk about mainly crochet, anything to do with crochet, really. But today I'm actually not able to crochet. Yes, I'm a vapor. Um, I used to smoke 40, 50 fags a day once upon a time, but no more. I actually couldn't smoke a cigarette now. They're disgusting. They're not cigarettes anymore. I remember when I was a teenager, I loved my cigarette, and as I got older, obviously, I loved them. But I tried one or two there over the last couple of years. In the last year, I suppose I tried one or two, and the toxic, you can taste the toxic shit that's inside them. Excuse the language. Anyway, sorry. So, um, today I just popped on because I've been kind of in my room for the last couple of days. My daughters are away on a break, and my sons are here. Some of my sons. For those that don't know me, I have eight beautiful blessings. They're my blessings, children. They're not children anymore, but Anyway, there's an awful. My glasses are reflecting from the window. Hold on a second. I see if I can. No, it's from the window over there, and I don't have a heavy curtain on it, and I can't see a thing. So we'll see. Sorry. So yeah, I've been kind of in my bedroom resting. I have a cod liver oil. Oh, it's not cod liver oil. I have oil in my hair. I'm trying out this new routine with castor oil and coconut oil because I'm losing. My hair is thin on top. My hair has always been fine, but I've always had loads of it. But I'm trying out the castor oil and coconut oil and see if we can get some growth back into it. I'm also using it on my skin, so I'll come back to you on that and let you know how it's going. Anyway, so today because I'm grounded, I suppose. I have rheumatoid arthritis, and I've been in so much pain for the last couple of days. I take a shot of Cimzia every 2 weeks. I think I need to go back to the weekly. I have to talk to my rheumatologist. But they're really, really sore. There's a photograph somewhere. Probably be at the beginning. I was diagnosed, I think it was in 2019, with it. I actually have a video of how severe I was. I couldn't move. I could do nothing for myself. I couldn't even wipe myself at the bathroom. And to go to the bathroom was a big deal, trying to get trousers and underwear down and what have you. And I was so stubborn. I'm not stubborn. I am stubborn, but I don't like relying on anybody. I think that's since I was a child. I have to do everything myself. I'm learning over the last few years. One of my sons I'm constantly saying I'm sorry, and he's constantly telling me to stop. Because I had to rely on myself and just myself most of my life. It's very hard to rely on someone else and not get frustrated. That's another thing that I'm working on, is not to get frustrated, because it's a big thing. But back to the rheumatoid arthritis, I've been crippled for the last couple of days. You can't really see now. It doesn't look as bad as what it did, but they're still really, really sore. I'm actually rubbing castor oil into my wrists and my fingers at night and during the day, and so I just kind of wanted to talk. I suppose just it's an autoimmune disease. Rheumatoid arthritis is an autoimmune disease. There's an awful lot of autoimmune diseases out there, and they're called the silent illness, I suppose, and it's just, I suppose, awareness is there's not huge awareness on them. Well, I haven't seen a huge awareness on them. And two of my sons have autoimmune disease, actually, and one of my daughters has an autoimmune disease. But they're called the silent disease, um, because we might look brilliant, it doesn't show. Most autoimmune, well, my autoimmune disease doesn't show on me, like physically. If you're looking at me, then I'm fine, and I'm smiling. But actually, um, autoimmune disease brings severe pain. Like, if you can't manage it, well, I had it managed, and then COVID, and if because it's an autoimmune disease, that means that my immune system is mistakenly attacking a certain point in my body, an area in my body. So mine attacks my joints, especially my hands mainly. But oh my God, two of my sons, one, it attacks his liver and bowel. The other fella, it attacks his liver and bowel, stomach. And my daughter, her lower intestine. And they didn't inherit. Molly inherited hers from through my family, but the other two, it's called PSC. I think I'm saying that right. We don't know where that came from, but then again, we don't know our ancestors as such. We never knew our relations, because both my parents were handed up when they were born, of course, back in the 50s and 60s and 40s, in Ireland, because of the powers that be. It was a sin to have a child outside marriage, so they were hidden away and handed up for adoption. So our homes, my father was reared in Arthritis Industrial School. Nightmare, an absolute nightmare. I don't know how people survived that. And my mother was adopted, but her adopted family only had one child, and they fostered children as well, and he was way older than her. So we know, and her adopted parents died years and years and years ago. Like, we were reared. My father reared myself and my brothers on his own, just on his own in the 70s. There was 3 boys and myself, and he reared us by himself. And anyway, so we didn't have uncles, aunts, cousins, nanas. We had no one. But back to the auto. So we don't. Sorry, see, I go off on tangents and different stories. So I apologize. Back to the autoimmune diseases. It's a silent disease. So people look well, and trying to explain it to someone, it's not easy, because, like, you look fine. I have days that I can barely walk. I have days that I don't sleep properly. I have days that I need to nap, and that's part of the autoimmune disease. No energy, lethargic. When you're in pain all the time, and it's all the time, obviously you're worn down, you're sore, and then you're frustrated because you can't do things for yourself. Now, as I said, I had it managed, and then I got this really severe pleurisy in my chest. So with the autoimmune disease, you're taking drugs because your immune system is attacking a specific part of your body. It's doing it by mistake. Like, it thinks that particular part of the body is bad and something's wrong. So my immune system is attacking it, trying to heal it, but it's actually making it, causing the rheumatoid arthritis. So that's for me. For my sons, it's their liver and their bowel, which is very severe. One of my sons is he's on the pre-transplant list, and he's been sick since he was 6, and maybe before it. And his liver went into failure twice in the last 5 years. So, but they kind of pulled him back, or he pulled himself back. He's an amazing young man. Hey, Sean, if you're listening. And then Robert has the same thing, not as severe with the liver, but more with the stomach. And poor Robert has suffered for years. All his dreams are out the window because he couldn't do or go or what have you. And they still can't sort him out. They can't find a balance for him. But he's trying. I'm so proud of him. He's a warrior, an absolute warrior. So, okay, so I got a pleurisy. So when again, I'm so sorry. I'm going off on tangent. So forgive me, please. So when you have an autoimmune disease, your immune system is attacking parts of your body, and you have to take medication to lower your immune system. So that means like floor it. So I'm on injections and tablets to bring my immune system, to keep my immune system low, so that it's not attacking my joints. And if I get sick, like I got that, I've had colds and coughs and things on and off, but this one was really severe. I had to go on antibiotics and steroids and what have you. So I had to come off all my autoimmune immune suppressants. I had to come off all of them in order to heal the infection, because when your immune system is low, you're obviously susceptible to catching everything and anything. And if you are sick, you have nothing to fight. So I had to come off all my immune suppressants and heal from the chest thing. But then my rheumatoid arthritis flared up because I wasn't taking my meds. So it's a vicious circle. So since then, I can't find a balance. I have been to see my rheumatologist. We dropped some of the autoimmune, just a little bit of the autoimmune meds, or the immune suppressant meds, and but I'm still not finding a balance. Now I know certain things probably do irritate it and what have you. And when you're sitting bored out of your tree, I eat, and there's certain things I shouldn't eat, like white sugar. I actually use brown sugar in in everything, in my coffee and tea and stuff like that. I use deramera sugar. I'm probably saying that wrong. And gluten. I shouldn't be eating gluten. I know as soon as I eat bread, I'm in trouble. Instead of sticking to the gluten-free diet, I have a major problem with sticking to a gluten-free diet. I just have this thing in my head, and I'm trying to get myself turned around for that. But anyway, so getting back onto my immune suppressants, then it takes time for your body to adjust again and get back to scratch. And for some reason, it's just not coming back up properly this time. And I'm in a lot of pain. I wake up in the morning and my two wrists and my fingers they're just so sore. So that's part of it, the soreness that you can show, I suppose, more than anything. My hands normally, they're swollen, but they're not as bad as they were. I don't know if you can see that. I have photographs, I'll put them on. But there's also the tiredness, because you're always tired, the brain fog. Of course, you're poisoning your body with medication. It's poisoning your system in one way, and working to keep the pain and inflammation at bay, which is a good thing, but it's a vicious circle. But the lethargic side of it is like, there's days, you want to, people will ask you to do things and come places and what have you, and you'll be all go, and then you just don't have the energy. I have no energy. Like if I go, we'll just say, like I live in Carndon. If I go to Derry for a few hours shopping, I'm fecked for all day that afternoon and the following day. I have to rest. That's a big deal for me. So it's easier for me to stay in, which is not nice. And I don't have a car anymore. I can't drive. So, so yeah, what I was kind of getting at is, if you have an autoimmune disease, or you have someone in your family that has an autoimmune, and as I said, there's lots of them. There's so many out there, but they suffer in silence. We suffer in silence because people can, not being horrible or anything, but people will say, "But you look great," you know. But that doesn't matter. It's our inside are fighting major battles and not sleeping properly, can't get comfortable for whatever reason. There's so many. Like I'm, I'm asking people, any people out there that do know people with autoimmune diseases, to be a little gentler and more empathetic for them, because they're not going to sit and whinge. No, like, I don't like complaining and moaning, but if, like, I'd never tell people I was sick, or like, I'd never lay down, for years. It took me such a long time to actually open up about migraine, and I suffer severe, I used to, I don't even want to talk about it because I'm afraid I put energy into it. Absolute horrible migraines. And I'd just keep going. I keep going and keep going and keep going. And my system has just had enough. So my autoimmune disease, I believe, came from stress, fight or flight, being on the alert all the time, being switched on all the time. I've been since I was little, because of trauma when I was a child and a teenager, and then coming into my adulthood. That trauma taught me how to be on alert at all times. So my body has taken so much trauma over my 52 years since I was born, and I'm not exaggerating, and I'm not, feel sorry for me. There's reasons for everything, but the trauma that I've dealt with, the stress that has gone on into my body, because when we're in trauma, and we keep it, like, I suppressed it, I kept it down, I hid it, I put up my own barriers and walls, and how to manage things so to keep me safe, I thought, actually put severe trauma on my body. And this is where this came from. This is part of where this came from, because my body couldn't cope anymore with the amount of trauma that I had suffered and was suffering. That it's my body started attacking itself because it couldn't cope. And if you do your research, that's where a lot of illnesses come from, trauma. So yeah, I talk to my angels and my guides and my divine self, and I'm trying to work out how to. I'm trying, like, it's so hard to have the patience and to stay not upbeat as such, but positive when you're suffering. And I suppose I'm just want to make it aware for other people. Now, my children are great. I have one son that actually can't look at me. He gets very upset when he gets all anxious and what have you, when I'm not well, because there's been so much illness in our family. So he kind of not avoids me, but avoids me in the house when I'm not brilliant. But like my boys, I sat them down 2 years ago, and I actually brought somebody in to help me explain to them that I needed help with because this is what happens with me. And when I take my shot every 2 weeks, it takes me 24 hours to 48 hours to recover from the shot. It just floors me, absolutely floors me, and that hasn't changed since day one. Like, most people, their bodies get used to it and get on with it. Mine hasn't. So yeah, I mean, I've actually sent out a request to a spiritual church that's online, and for healing, because I'm at the stage now that it's starting to interfere with my head, which is I try to keep a balance, that I don't go into a negative downfall, a negative turn, and it affects my mental health, emotional health, and I don't want to go there, because if I go, like, when my emotional, not to mind all the trauma and stuff that I'm dealing with therapy, and which is great. I'm so pleased. I don't know if you've watched other videos, but I go to my therapist, and it's one of the best things I ever did. I found her. I'm really sorry. Somebody's, wow. Huh. Um, Sorry about that. It's the main road out there. Outside the estate. Anyway, so yeah, I'm working on my divine myself, and healing, for myself and my children, emotional healing, and stuff. So I can't afford to go. I don't want to go downhill again. I don't. My wells of blackness, my black holes, whatever you want to call them, are pretty deep, and it's very hard to come back out of them once I go in. And I haven't been in for quite a while, and I can feel that I'm tired and I'm sore, and it's gone on a bit long. And so that's another thing. I know I'm blathering on, but it affects your emotional health. Autoimmune diseases affects your emotional, mental health. I don't like saying mental health. I say emotional health because it's to do with your emotions. Um, but it does. And like, I love my own time, so I'm grand, and I love being sitting here and being able to crochet. I'm actually working on a project at the moment. Um, well, I was, but I can't. I can't. I can't take up the. I can't hold it for long, and because I can't, like, crochet is my therapy. So this is where the crochet comes in. Crochet is my therapy because when I'm crocheting, I'm not overthinking. I'm not in my head, worrying and stressing. I'm focusing on creating, and then it helps me meditate, and I talk to my angels and my guides, and it's amazing. So if you're anyway creative, if you can find something that you can enjoy, it doesn't have to be crochet, knitting, painting, drawing, making things, lollipop sticks, and making jewelry boxes, something that will occupy you and that will keep you focused, and not focusing on pain and hurt and therapy and stuff. Because I have a million miles an hour, like, my mind can go into just this overdrive, and crochet is my therapy. It just takes me so calm. But when I'm like this, I can't do that, and I'm stuck, and the mind starts working over time, and the negative stuff starts coming in. So emotional health, mental health suffers severely, and the battle of trying to keep a level is so 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 exhausting. Trying to keep from going down the rabbit hole is is so exhausting. So for all you autoimmune disease sufferers out there, I send you out divine healing. I divine energy. I ask that the angels help and hold you up, in your time of pain and need. And dearest divine angels, hold me up and give me strength, and give all those who are suffering in pain silently, and silent diseases, um, help them to cope, emotionally. And so it is. Thank you. That's just a little healing prayer for all of you out there, because I know how it is. I know what it is, and trying to explain to people around you, even family, like, they don't get it because they're not in it. And it's really hard when you're not physically, they can't physically see it. But the mental and physical exhaustion that comes with an autoimmune disease is just horrific. I'm not saying it's like that every day, all day, but it's like that most of the time. Sorry about that. My son came in to check on me. So yeah, I for all those that are suffering, my hat's taken off to you because you're just an absolute, you're warriors. We're warriors, absolute warriors. And for all those that have family members that, or friends that suffer, um, uh, even though you might not understand it, that might just give you, this video might give you a little bit of an insight. Yeah, exhaustion, physical, mental exhaustion, physical pain, and exhaustion. It just wears you down. So anyone that's a healer, or that prays or believes in higher power, in Papa, I ask for prayers for me. That'd be really sweet, and I pray, I'll add prayers for you to my daily routine, my daily session. So yeah, so there we go. That's autoimmune for you. That's, well, it's only a little bit of my experience with it. Yeah. Even weight gain, like here I go again, like, because you can't move, and go walking, and you know, long treks, and it's just I one thing that really helps, just as a note, a little note, a PS, is Epsom salts and baking soda in a bath of nice warm water and soak in it. That really, really helps. Actually, that's something I haven't done it in the last few days. I'm going to do that later on. Epsom salts, and a big cup of Epsom salts and a cup of baking soda in the bath. Some essential oils if you like this nice smell, and soak in that there for 20 minutes, half an hour. Don't soak too long because you can dehydrate, because it draws toxins out of your body. So make sure you're drinking water and that someone is nearby, just in case. Just be careful. Don't fall asleep in it. So that's me, enjoying my coffee, and thank you for watching, and have a blessed day. Mama C is signing off.